It's the Shatkin First Down pregame show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, AJ Giordano from Wing Nutz. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin, the Mafia will be joining us. Sam Castronova will be on as well, and a special Bills guest to join us as well. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Obviously sort of a wintry mix as we get towards Sunday and the 49ers. We'll talk a lot about that game coming up. And, of course, thank you for watching regularly if you do. And if it's your first time watching, thanks for joining us this time around. And hopefully you stay for the rest of the year and going forward. We really appreciate that. And we're, of course, thankful for our families and everyone, the first responders and all of that. So enjoy your Thanksgiving if you haven't already, or you're enjoying it throughout the week. Awesome. All right, let's talk about the Chiefs game. Obviously, everybody's talking about Josh's run, right?
Right.
The play of the year in the NFL, according to Jim Nantz.
Yeah, I've probably watched that play 2,000 or 3,000 times from last Sunday till now, and it really was. He got touched by 6 different Chiefs and still bulldozed his way into the end zone, and you know that was just you got to have it play from Josh. He saw a coverage he didn't like and he took off right away, and it ended up being one of those plays that if he wins an MVP, it's going to be shown on a loop over and over and over again.
Yeah, that little pump fake to Ty Johnson, and he's like, sorry, Chris Berman, whoop, you know, like Chris Berman does.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just went. He was, and man, just athletic and all of that, like we know. Not the first time we've seen him play hero ball, but that was remarkable, obviously. We were all there. Crowd went crazy. But I will say this. I think Bernard's play was maybe not as important, but pretty close to important. We know how the Chiefs have been winning this year, right? Or at least being close in games. Bernard doesn't make that play. It's deeper into Bills territory, and if they score a touchdown on that play, again, we know how the Chiefs are winning. Who knows? Maybe they get an onside kick. They're down 30-28, and they get a long field goal and win. Bernard's play was massive in that game, and I don't think it's getting talked about enough.
No, that play was definitely massive, but him throughout the whole game was also huge. He played that main spy on Patrick Mahomes, and we played the type of defense that somehow was different than the Chiefs has ever seen before. And Bernard was that difference. He played intelligent the whole game, and then he knows they're going to try to go to Kelsey on that last play, so he drops and he makes the pick. And that's another thing that winning teams do. They make a play when you need a play made, and especially against the Chiefs, that's a huge win.
Yeah, Kelsey completely ineffective in that game. 2 catches for 8 yards, if you didn't know. But some other really great stats from that game. Third downs, Bills 9 of 15. They were great on third downs. And maybe even most importantly, that again doesn't get talked about, is time of possession. The Bills had the ball almost 10 minutes more than the Chiefs did.
Yeah, and that talks to the commitment to the running game. Even if it wasn't working, they kept committing to it. And, you know, I wish maybe we would have gotten some third and short situations, because it seemed like we were kind of in third and long a lot that game, but we did end up converting all of them, and the clock did run out. So it's one of those things where you trust the play calls and you trust the running game, and we still ended up scoring touchdowns on the run, and it ended up being huge.
Yeah, and I think slowly but surely throughout the season, the Chiefs are showing weaknesses as you go. I mean, the fact that the Panthers kept that game close and almost beat the Chiefs, albeit at home, was remarkable. So maybe the Chiefs are on that downside, right, of where they were. We'll see. Great stat I heard this week, which I think is really remarkable that people forget about. You know, everyone, when the Bills lose a couple of games, they're like, oh, no, here we go, sky is falling. The Bills are 32-2. After 2-game losing streaks under Sean McDermott, 26-2 under Josh Allen. That's pretty impressive, talking about resiliency and coming back from having back-to-back losses.
Well, yeah, I think it speaks to the coaching, and also it speaks to the whole organization being able to control their emotions, not being too high, not being too low. It's one of those things where the fans might think the sky is falling, but these guys know maybe it's just a little bit of tweak here, a little tweak there, and they can get right back on the right track. And now, even if you look at the teams that beat us, I mean, they've had a couple losing streaks too, and it seems like the Bills always kind of know how to answer. And so it's something they've done the last couple years. They were 6-6 at one point last year, and they stayed resilient, and they stayed controlled in their emotion. They were able to go on a winning streak there, and it's Sean McDermott deserves a lot of credit for that.
For sure. I mean, you hear the terms culture, team, process. They all hang out with each other all the time. You saw the Amari Cooper post game, how he was excited to win a game like that. Pretty cool stuff, but it all is meaningful. I know it sounds like coach speaking, cliche, but it's really a thing with the Bills. And you see that from people that come from other organizations and teams when they come here and they express it the way Amari Cooper did. So great stuff. All right, stick around. Coming up next, a very special Bills guest will join us, the Mafia, and then later we'll break down the Bills and the Niners as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, we are with AJ Giordano from Wing Nutz. Now, if you don't know what Wing Nutz is, it is, well, for me, and no disrespect to any of the Buffalo wing places, but it has the Wing Nutz signature wing is my favorite wing in Buffalo. And again, with no disrespect to all the Buffalo wing places, it's because it's not a Buffalo wing. I think is why I do like it as much as I do. And AJ, before we get into the history of the restaurant and everything, but I just want to get to that, your signature wing. For me, it reminds me of a wing that I grew up with in Rochester. There's a place called Country Suite in Rochester. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, if you've ever been, but for me, you guys have come up with the closest thing to Country Suite ever with your signature Wing Nutz wing. And you have a little bit of a saying over there at Wing Nutz, don't you?
Yes, sir. Size, sauciness, crunch. We really try to serve the biggest wings we can find, serve them, saucy and crispy. That's the key to it, is that, saucy and crispy.
Yeah.
It's something that we're proud of. It's not your traditional buffalo wing. We don't claim to be. We do also have your traditional buffalo wings as well, but we just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different and really try to stand out from the rest of the pack.
Talk to the folks that are watching about sort of the history of the restaurant and even your backstory, because I know we were talking before we started recording about you and your turkey dinner and how much you take pride in it. And I was just assuming that your Thanksgiving day was off as you cook for a living.
Yeah.
But anyway, go back. Let's start there. Let's start with your chefdom, right? Your cooking background and sort of how you've gotten to where you are today.
So my first job in fine dining was when I was about 18 at Fanny's, the Buffalo staple, working for Mike Delmont and, the chef Scotty. And it was just, I was only there for a couple of months as a prep cook, but I got a taste for the life of a chef and I really enjoyed it. I really, stuck with it. I ended up at Lombardo's and did a brief stint at Oliver's as the catering chef. And then I was at Lockport Country Club most recently. And my business partner, Chris Cavalieri, he's a investor locally. He wanted to get into the restaurant business. And he said, when you're done with the country club, let me know and we'll start something up. So we started a restaurant. It was going really well. But then this Wing Nutz thing, he called to put an order in and they were let us know that they were basically probably not going to reopen. Ed was in poor health and we told him, we have 2 restaurants and 10 chefs. Let us help you take this to the next level. And we were able to work out a partnership and, take care of them. Ed and Alicia, they started Wing Nutz in 2005 officially. They were, doing catering in backyards and at tailgates and people's weddings. And, they hustled for so long and so hard. And then they got the spot at Knights of Columbus, and they were there for about 3 years. The Barstool thing happened, and they finally were able to, the last couple of years really reflect on what they had built and the product that they had built, the sauces, all that stuff. And they've really, been able to enjoy, what their hard work is, their hard work has really paid off for them. So we're just, trying to pay homage and really do them justice. And, we've scaled exponentially. We went from doing 1,200 wings a day to about 10,000. So it's pretty crazy. And now with the new spot at the airport, we have a great venue for events and for parties. We can do huge parties and tailgates. That segues us to, game day hospitality. We've done a lot with John, Madeline. They're very young, hungry entrepreneurs. They have a really, strong connection to everybody locally, and they understand what networking is, and they've really done a great job branding and building game day hospitality to what it's become. And it's huge nationally now, so it's great to work with them.
Let's talk a little bit about the Bills. Like, let's get you as a big Bills Mafia. I mean, you've been a fan your whole life, obviously, and now you have this sort of even bigger connection with the team now through some of the things that you're doing.
I said it at the beginning of the season, we were going to beat the Lions in the Super Bowl this year, and I'm sticking by it. I think this is Josh's team. He's clearly locked in. There's a lot of really good teams in the AFC, but I just see us, getting healthy at the right time. We're getting 5 guys back, and I think, nobody's really talking about some of the guys we're getting back. Keon's a huge part of the team. Dwayne Carter, he was having a really, really good run before he got hurt, and he looked like a real disruptor. Our defensive line is getting healthy at the right time. I mean, our defensive backfield's phenomenal. I think our linebackers are healthy. Getting Milano back's just unbelievable at this time. So, I mean, all our younger guys got a ton of reps and a ton of experience. Dorian Williams, he's gotten better every game. It's just having this connection with the Bills too, like you mentioned earlier. It's kind of surreal for a kid growing up, looking up to all these guys, and now they're eating at your restaurant and coming in all the time and bringing their families in. And I'm older than all of them now, so that's kind of weird. And it's like these guys are coming in with their wife and their babies, and it's awesome. We really try to be hospitable and extend, the family feeling to these guys. And, it's really, we reach out to the rookies. We let them know, this is your welcome to Buffalo. Come on in, bring your families in. And they've really taken to it.
Great luck continuing in the future. We appreciate you coming on the show and doing this. And happy birthday and happy Thanksgiving, man.
Thanks for having me, Rich. Go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Shatkin Jr., board-certified plastic surgeon. In addition to my many other aesthetic treatments, I'm now offering the revolutionary 4D facelift exclusively for you. Look your best in the new year. Make the resolution right now to give us a call at the Aesthetic Associate Center. Come in for a free consultation. Just mention Buffalo Healthy Living Magazine, 716-800-6026, and find out more at drshatkin.com.
My self-esteem wasn't where it should have been because I was really, really self-conscious about my teeth. When I walked into Shatkin Dental, I was instantly ready for the residency program. I knew that that is what I needed. I needed the discount. I needed the dentist that was going to fix everything. My self-esteem is already getting much, much, much higher just from starting the procedures.
Call Shatkin Dental Health today at 43 Smile for quality dental care you can afford.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to go in the pocket. Time to talk the quarterback. We are not really sure who it's going. We guess it's going to be Purdy most likely.
Yeah, you got to assume, yeah.
Hey, and look, regardless of who's playing quarterback for them, I mean, McCaffrey was not good against the Packers, and I don't say it's all on him. Yeah. Certainly, the offensive line was not great for him or for Brandon Allen. So regardless of who plays quarterback for the 49ers, they're going to have to get their run game going with McCaffrey and Mason before we even start talking about the quarterback, right?
Yeah, they're in a desperate spot this week. They're 5-6, coming off back-to-back losses and last place in their division, so they're going to throw the whole playbook at us, I think.
Let's just talk about Purdy and just assume it's going to be him because at this point they're at the bottom of their division, right? They got to win at this point. Even though it's a left to right, coast to coast game for them, long travel. Obviously, the West Coast come to the East. Doesn't usually bode well for that particular team. But what does Brock Purdy have to do? What do the Bills have to do to stop him?
Yeah, I mean, he does a great job of throwing with anticipation, and it starts with the run game. They use a lot of play action to get guys open. If we're able to stop the run, we can drop the backers into the – he throws one of the best dig balls in the league, I think. He just – over the middle of the field. So if we're able to stop the run and the linebackers can kind of sink into coverage a little sooner, then I think we'll be able to stop them. But this year he's been running a little bit more. He's an underrated athlete, I think, so we got to keep somebody on him in the pocket too.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Kittle's really starting to kind of blow up in place of Ayuk, who's obviously out for the year. And now, you know, you look at Deebo Samuel, who had a big return that got called back. Had a big play on sort of a trick play in the game against Green Bay, but he's been way down this year.
He's been quiet, yeah.
So what does Purdy have to do besides Juwan Jennings and Kittle to make things happen?
Yeah, he's just got to get everybody involved and then just kind of a momentum thing. If you can get McCaffrey going early, if you can get Deebo some touches, then they'll get into the rhythm of the game and get going, but we're kind of hoping that that's not the case. So hopefully they got a good game plan and we'll be healthy going into that week.
All right, stay right here. Get rid of the ball. Mafia's coming up. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. We got the Mafia. Of course, you just saw Sam in the pocket. And, of course, you got Dr. Jared. You got Evan. He's back for another week. And, you know, seemingly every week in the Mafia, we have somebody new that joins us. And this week, we're very happy to welcome Alyssa onto the show, who is Jared's fiancée. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Love the shirt.
Thank you.
Very blingy, if you will. Yeah. Here we are. We're 9-2, second seed. Maybe one Detroit tough game left. I mean, is this team going to the Super Bowl or what? It's seemingly looking that way.
I think 100% we're going to go to the Super Bowl. We've never had this much energy, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And Evan, things are falling into place for the Bills, right? I mean, if you look up and down the AFC, for any teams, if we go back 12 weeks to the beginning of the year, and you thought, well, these people are going to compete with us, these people, one after another, you go down that list, and every single one of them at some point throughout the season has fallen off dramatically.
Well, yeah, starting next week, the Bills can clinch the division.
Yeah.
The Dolphins lose, the Bills win. So right there, the AFC East, out of question. We already have that clinched up. And now the Ravens look to have some struggles. The Texans have some struggles. It looks like the Chiefs are getting a little bit weaker and weaker after week after week. We saw them almost lose to the Panthers, right? We don't know. They could lose to the Texans up on their schedule going forward. So maybe that one seed is in play for the Bills. And it seems like they're getting healthier and better down the stretch. Kincaid, Coleman, Milano might be back next week. Brown, we don't know. There's still a lot of pieces added to this squad that is seeming to get better and better each week.
And like I said, the schedule seems to get easier and easier as we go. I mean, Lions, albeit you know.
I mean, next week, I know the 49ers just got waxed, but if Purdy's back, that's a dangerous game. They're coming off of 2 or 3 losses in a row, like a must-win for them. So I would be a little worried about that one. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Lions look like the best team in the league right now. But yeah, other than that, our schedule looks pretty weak. Those Jets might be tough to beat, but no, we have a pretty good schedule going forward, and we'll see what happens. I think it kind of stinks because the Chiefs' schedule's kind of weak too going forward, but we'll see. We need some help.
They still have Pittsburgh also on their schedule.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Jared. I mean, what's the bump in the road for the Bills? Mm-hmm. Take Detroit out of the mix. Outside of Detroit, what's the bump in the road for this team?
Well, I mean, here's what we're talking about, the 1 seed right now, and I think what we really need to be talking about is our matchup in the playoffs. So I'm not too worried. If we can get the division won by next week in the future and lock up either the 2 or 3 seed, it depends who you're playing. Because do you want to play a Miami team that's looking pretty hot right now, or so it all depends on that. But I don't see any bump in the road for this team because I think they're the most complete team we've had in years.
If anyone was going to look at this Bills team, where's the weakness? I mean, is it Tyler Bass? I mean, is that the weakness?
I still think run defense is a little bit sketchy at times.
Yeah.
With Milano coming back, that would be a huge help.
Yeah,
I do agree, but I think there's maybe one team in the league that you're going to be scared of with our run defense, and that's Baltimore.
Sure.
That comes up to matchup in the playoffs.
All right, well, let's get some predictions for this game against the 49ers. Of course, could be a little wintry mix out at the stadium. That could throw in, a little bit of a speed bump for both teams, quite frankly. So we're going to start with the score prediction first from Alyssa, what do you think? Bills Niners, what do you think the score is going to be?
I think the score is going to be 31-17. I think we're going to love playing in the snow, and it's going to be an easy game for us.
All right, I love it. Evan, what about you?
So I'm going to give you 2 score predictions, one with Brandon Allen playing and one with Brock Purdy playing.
Fair enough.
If Brandon Allen's playing, it's going to be 33-10 Bills. If Brock Purdy's playing, give me 34-19 Bills.
All right, significant.
I'm going to do the same thing here. If Brock Purdy plays, I think it goes 34-31 Bills. Brandon Allen, I think it's probably 35-7 Bills.
All right,
also, one thing to note, Brandon
Yes,
Allen wears number 17 as well.
He does, Allen 17,
He's a
right?
wannabe.
Don't get confused, everybody.
He's a wannabe, yeah.
For sure. Our predictions will be coming up. Right now, though, let's get to some Tino's Dough and the crossovers. So for those of you that are new to the show, basically what happens is we give hints as to players that play for both teams every week. So this week is the Bills and the Niners. So here we go. You guys think about the hints and who these players might be. The more you get, the more pizza you're going to eat at Sorrentino's, basically, on Main Street. Here we go. Number 1. This guy was a 7th-round pick from Kentucky.
Stevie Johnson.
There you go. Played for both teams. Spent 1 year for the Niners, 2014, 35 catches, 3 touchdowns. This guy was a 15-year linebacker.
Shaquille Spikes.
That is correct. Only 2 Pro Bowls, both as a Bill. He had 5 interceptions in 2004. Crazy as a Bill. Yeah. 19 career interceptions. All right, last one for a large pizza. No, actually, medium. You're at a sheet now at Sorrentino's if you get this one, right? Here we go. 21st pick in the draft from Ohio State. Nate Clements. 2 for 3 for Jared. 36 career interceptions for Nate Clements. 6 pick sixes. First 6 years with the Bills and 4 with the Niners from 07 to 10. So if you think about it, both Clements and Spikes both played for the Niners at the same time. That'll do it for the Mafia. Alyssa, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Evan, thanks for coming back for another week. See you next. All right, we're going to talk the Bills and the Niners when we come back at the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. I got a lot of stats I want to pack in to this segment, all right? The Bills, 3rd in the league in points per game at 29 points per game. I mean, they're crushing it in points per game. But weirdly, and you might not think this, they're kind of average. They're like middle of the pack in terms of total yards, passing and rushing offensively. They're just not dominating. But I guess when you stop and think about it, Josh has he had any 300-yard games this year?
He's had one against the Titans.
Right.
But I think it's been the thing where we've been able to kind of control the game in a different way. Where we don't have to have Josh throwing for 400 yards or 300 yards every game. We can make timely plays and score timely touchdowns, and we can come away with wins that way. And I'm sure if he needs to get to that point, if there's a game where he needs to get there, I'm sure he has it in his back pocket to throw for a bunch of yards.
Yeah, for sure. And then defensively, same thing. They're 13th against the rush, 14th against the pass. But the standout stats for the Bills, and probably why they're winning the way they are, they're number 1 in turnover ratio at a +14 with 13 picks and 8 fumble recoveries. And they have the 2nd fewest giveaways in the league, just 7, the 5 Josh picks and 2 fumbles. Again, at this point in the season is absolutely unbelievable.
Well, I mean, that's always been a formula to win in the NFL. If you have more turnovers than the other team, usually you win the game. I think another thing the defense does really well is they lock down in the red zone. And they keep everything in front of them. They're coached very well. They might not be they might be letting up yards between the 20 or between the 30s now, I guess. But at the end of the day, we're able to lock it down in the red zone.
To give you perspective for this game, 49ers 13th in the league scoring at around 23.6 points per game. The Packer game hurt them. They were a lot higher before the Packer game. 6th in the league yards against, 20th in points against at 23.6. Top 10 rushing and passing. They're 12th in the rush defense and 6th in pass defense. I think the two stats from the 49ers that scare me most, they have 12.5 sacks from their interior line, their defensive tackle. So that means McGovern and the two guards are going to have big games in the middle. And, of course, if Bosa plays, we know what that means. And they also have 12 forced fumbles to the 49ers. So they're pretty active, and they're still a very, very good defense with Warner really kind of locking it down in the middle.
Yeah, they're extremely strong defensively, and it's one of those games where Josh is going to have to continue his track of staying smart with the football because the Niners can pour it on pretty heavily if you get back in the turnover battle versus them. That's how they won and went to the Super Bowl last year. So this isn't a slouch. This is an incredible defense that was #1 all last year. Still has many of those players, and it's something that Josh is going to have to be smart about.
Yeah, it's that game when you hope that Deebo Samuel doesn't come out of his shell, right? But Kittle's been great. McCaffrey, like we talked about in the Mafia, him and Mason together should be fantastic. We did talk about the Bills' run defense maybe being the one place where they're susceptible. So talk about that.
Yeah, I think the run defense is absolutely somewhere where we can be exploited in this game because I don't think Ed Oliver or Daquan Jones has had their best year yet. And also the Niners, they run to set up the pass. So it's one of those things where you really have to lock in and stop the run early because if they get downhill on you, it gets pretty dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. Kittle's having a great year, but this is going to be a different defense too because I would expect Milano to play. I mean, we talked about this a week and a half ago. Milano's had a full 3 weeks after being, we'll call it activated, to practice without any contact. So I do anticipate him being back. And think about what that means for the Bills defense, having Dorian Williams, who is one of their leading tacklers, just chomping at the bit to get into the game when he can't even get into the game if Milano and Bernard are there.
Yeah, and I think they'll probably do a little more of a system where both of them get some time during this game, and I think it's going to be important for both of those guys to be at 100%. It's a Sunday night. The crowd is going to get into it too. I think our defense can really make a stand against this run defense because we got a West Coast team coming to the East Coast. I know it's not a time difference, but it is in terms of travel. They're going to have to travel a long time, and I think if we bring the right energy, we're going to be able to get ahead in this game. We're going to be able to stop the Niners pretty
For sure.
well.
This is a good, fun game. The Bills arguably at 100% with Spencer Brown, Coleman, we hope, Kincaid, and Milano all back. Things are really lining up for the Bills. What's lining up for your score prediction?
I believe the Bills are going to win 34-17. I think we're going to get ahead early, and we're going to be able to shut them down.
All right, I'm going to go 31-23. I think McCaffrey finds a way to have a game and kind of break out for them. I don't think Samuel's going to do anything. I think Kittle will have a nice game as well. He's been excellent all year long. 31-23, my prediction. All right, well, again, happy Thanksgiving to you if you're watching. I hope Black Friday went for you and Cyber Monday goes well as well. But it's the Bills and the Niners for Sunday Night Football. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our sponsors, Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Todd Shatkin, Myers RV, and Sorrentino's as well. I'm Rich Gaenzler for Dr. Jared Shatkin and the entire crew. Go Bills! This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.